Hello guys, Vizesh here, bringing you a Total War Warhammer 2 unit test series from the Darker faction. Today's unit is Cauldron of the Blood, which is a mount option for Death Hag, Helebron, and a separate unit by the name of Bloodwrack Shrine Medusa. So aesthetically this unit looks great. It looks different from other units. It has two witch elves throwing knife, the Cain's statue on the top of the chariot. It just looks great. This unit is a chariot, but it's a bit different from other chariots. First of all, with low mass, low speed, and low turning speed, and with the buff it provides, it's a staying chariot, meaning it has to stay in fight near the friendly infantry units, so it can buff the units and does damage in the sustained combat. So practically it's a sustained chariot. It has to stay in fight, not cycle charge, because it can't actually. So about the stats, the really unique things about this chariot, it has magic resistance, missile resistance, poison, 50 speed, low melee defense, non-armor piercing, relatively low weapons rate, and bonus versus infantry. And this is shared on all the units that have access to this shrine. Now let's talk about the abilities. It has a Fury of Cain, which is a unlimited use ability which gives great buffs to units, not itself. Frenzy, a Blood Shield of Cain, which is a physical resistance for unit and itself in a radius. Murderous Mastery, Encourage, Terror, Fear, and magic resistance and missile resistance. About the mechanics of this unit, like other chariots, when it's in combat, it starts to ram the units in front of it. But there is something different about it, that it has two witch elves that as soon as it gets into the melee, when it gets into the fight, they start to throw their knife. But there is a direction that each of the witch elves can actually throw their knives to. The right one can throw the knife in front and on the right side of the chariot, and the left one throws to the left and the back of the chariot. The daggers can miss, and I think the witch elves on the Cauldron use the normal witch elf unit stats, so their weapon strength, their melee attack, and all that stuff. When first this unit came out, all the chariots had a bug that they could do tremendous amount of damage when ramming into the other units and infantry, and CA fixed that. But besides that, this unit was never a great unit, never outshining other units, doing too much damage, doing more than you pay for it to do. But from the first patch notes, this unit just got nerfs after nerfs, but no buffs to compensate for the nerfs it got. So what was the nerfs? The first nerf this unit got was the price. It used to cost 700 gold for witch elves, for Death Hags to use this mount, but now it's 800. The second nerf was that the Blood Shield of Cain got its physical resistance reduced by 6% or 5%. It's now 6% physical resistance. The other change, I'm not sure if it's a nerf or it's a buff, because the description is not clear enough. So it says that the witch elves on the Cauldron can throw their knives when the shrine is in melee. So I don't know if witch elves could use their knives before this patch, like they could just throw the knives outside of the melee fight. You could park the shrine near the enemy infantry unit and they just start to throw their knives before the engagement. or the witches were just there and did nothing, and after this patch they started to throw their knives. So yeah, that's the third change. And the final one is that after the previous change, the witch elves used to attack with the shrine's weapon strength, but they got fixed or nerfed. Now they just use witch elves weapon strength. So yeah, that's the nerf and buff history of this unit. Now let's get into unit testing. First of all of my tests are done alone. I didn't have any players helping me with the testing, unit testing. In the future tests, I would like to find some people to help me with it and give a more accurate description of tests. But anyways, first of all, I tested this unit against infantry, cavalry, and single entity units and monsters. First of all, against infantry, this unit beats low armor, non-armor piercing, non-anti-large units on its own, but it takes too much damage in return. And against any anti-large or armor piercing unit with medium to high armor, this unit just flatly lose. It can't stay in sustained combat with its low melee defense, at least not alone. Against cavalry, it's the same. If the cavalry unit is low armor, non-armor piercing, non-anti-large unit, it can win the fight, like Illyrian Reavers or Dark Riders, but against any high armor unit, it's just gonna lose. And against monsters, it loses even to low armor flying units with non-armor piercing damage units like eagles. It just loses to 800 gold unit with non-armor piercing weapon strength. Against range units, because of the 25% missile resistance and 80 armor, it survives, but like any other large unit, it just takes too many arrows, takes too much damage from any armor piercing arrow. So in conclusion, this unit needs to be inside friendly units, needs to be fighting alongside infantry to be useful. The buffs are really great, especially the Fury of Cain. It changes the outcome of some of the battles, both infantry and cavalry units. If you use it on Cauldron Knights before the charge, it wins against Dragon Princes. The other buffs, damage resistance and the witch elves doing damage, it adds up in the long fights. So the weakest one, the weakest Cauldron, is for the attack. It doesn't have armor piercing, it doesn't have range attack like Bloodrack, Medusa Shrine. The health is too low. It doesn't sustain itself in fight because of the low melee defense. But the other shrines are usable, especially because of the items. Hellebrand Shrine can be a niche pick in some matchups because of the high magic resistance and armor piercing. And the Medusa missile attack is great. It does damage before the fight. It makes some matchups winnable, and does too much damage before the battle starts. But the Death Hag one, it doesn't do anything special, and it costs 1400 gold without any items or extra abilities that you have to pay for. So the shrine is good against infantry heavy, low tier infantry units like Beastmen and Norska. It can do damage to infantry. It can help your infantry win some fights, but against any faction with armor piercing, anti-large frontline or range attack, it just gets destroyed. It has to stay in fight and it always take damage, even against low AP ratio infantry units. My personal suggestions are, even it the Cauldron needs a cost decrease at 4000 gold. A unit that can't stay in fight solo or in a faction that doesn't have access to heals, it can't do too much. Or increasing melee defense, weapon strength, or AP ratio. It needs to be it needs to have access to armor piercing damage, or just redesigning it to a full-fledged chariot unit, increasing mass, speed, turn rate, so you can actually cycle charge with it. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. If you have any suggestions, or if you think I have done something wrong, or I can change some things to make the testings better, I would like to know. I would love to know in the comments, and I would love to have testing partners so we can actually test units with more accuracy and get better results in return. And that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Hope to see you guys soon. Bye.